Today we're doing Module 3, Lesson 5. We'll be multiplying multiples of 10, 100, and 1,000 by single digits and recognizing the patterns when we do that. So this is going to be kind of an extension of what we did yesterday. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to start off multiplying 2 ones times 4. So of course we could write that 2 ones has a value of 2. That's 2 times 4. Well, we know if we're doing 2 times 4, I would have 4 groups of 2 ones. There's a group of 2. Here's a group of 2. Here's a group of 2. And here's a group of 2. 4 groups of 2, or 2 times 4 equals 8. We all know that. 2 ones times 4, we could also say equals 8 ones. And so how would that change if we did 2 tens times 4? Well, now we have 4 groups of 2 in the tens place value instead of the ones place value. There's one group of 2, another group of 2, a third group of 2, and a fourth group of 2. So now we have 8, except instead of in the ones place value, our 8 are in the tens place value. So our answer is 8 tens. We could rewrite that using numbers. 2 tens has a value of 20 times 4. So that's exactly what we have shown on our place value chart. We have 4 groups of 2 tens, which would be 20 in each group. We have 4 groups of 20, and that equals 80. I could count those. I'm going to switch colors to count. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So that proves that my answer is 80. Okay. So now let's do Let's do 2 hundreds times 4. This time I've got 2 hundreds, so I'm going to put those in the hundreds place value, and I'm making 4 groups once again. One group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2. So 2 hundreds times 4 equals, of course, 8 hundreds. I could count the hundreds. There's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. That proves my answer is correct. If I wrote that problem numerically instead of in unit form, 2 hundreds has a value of 200 times 4, and we've proved that equals 800. So what pattern do you notice with what we've just done? We took the same problem just with different units. We started with 2 times 4, and we showed that that equaled 8 ones. Then we moved to 2 tens times 4, and we still had 8 tens. Then we did 2 hundreds times 4. 2 times 4 still equaled 8, but we were in the hundreds place value, so the value of that answer is 800. So let's take a look at this. This is what we've been working on this actually all year. We just haven't broken it down this way. In the first problem, we did 2 times 4 equals 8. In the second problem, we did 2 times 4 equals 8. Except for our 2 was in the tens place value. We had 1 0 to make it in the tens place value. So our product is going to have 1 0 at the end of it to make it in the tens place value also. Same thing on the next one. We had 2 times 4, 2 groups of 4 equals 8. Those were in the hundreds place value. So I started with 2 hundreds. So we add 2 zeros to the end of our product to put our product in the hundreds place value. Okay, let's try another set. Okay. So if I do 8 times 2, I'm doing 2 groups of 8. Here's a group of 8. Here's a group of 8. If I count those, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Of course, 8 times 2 equals 16. So what if instead of 8 times 2, we did 8 times 20? Well, now I'm going to have 2 groups of 8 in the tens place value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make another group of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's a group of 8. Here's another group of 8. So if we count these by tens, since we're in the tens place value, change colors, I forgot to do that earlier. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. 8 times 20 equals 160. 8 times 2 is 16. We're in the tens place value, so I'm going to add 1 0 to my product to put it into the tens. Now we could do 8, not equals, 8 times 200. 8 times 200. So we'll have 2 groups of 8 in the hundreds place value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's one group of 8 hundreds. Here's another group of 8 in the hundreds. So if I count those, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000, 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400, 1500, 1600. We know 1600 has a value of 1,600. It's the same number. 8 times 2 is 16. And we have to make those 16 and 200s by adding 2 zeros at the end. Okay, I have a question for you. Could I have also, instead of making 2 groups of 8, would it have gotten me the same value if I would have made 8 groups of 2? Yeah, of course it would have. So it doesn't matter which way you make your groups or how many, as long as you represent one of your factors as the number of groups and the other factor the number that's in each group. All right, let's do one more. What if I had 5 times 2? Start with 5 times 2. Okay. I'm going to represent 5 times 2. This time, instead of making 2 groups of 5, I'm going to make 5 groups of 2. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same. So there's 1 group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. If I count those, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of course, we know 5 times 2 equals 10. But I have a 0 at the end of that product. Why is there a 0 there? I don't have a 0 in my factors that I'm multiplying. Of course, it's just because 5 times 2 equals 10. So I'm not adding a 0. That's just what my answer is, or what my product is. 5 times 2 equals 10. So let's look at what happens with that product when we make, instead of 5 times 2, we make it 5 times 20. So now I'm going to make 5 groups of 2 10s. So there's 1 group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2. And those are all in the tens place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 2. All right, let's count those. We're in the tens place, so we'll count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 5 times 20 equals 100. So let's look at that. 5 times 2 equals 10. And I'm adding 1 0 to the end of my product because I was multiplying by 2 10s. So my answer is 100. We can prove why this. Let's look at 100. There's 2 zeros in my answer, but in the factors that I multiplied together, I only had 1 0. Why is that? It's because 5 times 2 equals 10. So I write my 10 down, then I add the 0. So 5 times 20 equals 100. All right, so what happens if we have 5 times 200? I'm going to have 5 groups of 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2. So let's count those. I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. So 5 times 200 is 10 hundredths, which we know is the same as 1,000. 5 times 2 is 10, and we have 2 zeros. All right, we're going to look at a word problem now. Francisco played a video game and earned 60 points for every coin he collected. He collected 7 coins. How many points did he earn for the coins he collected? All right, so let's circle our number clues. He earned 60 points for every coin, and he collected 7 coins. The question wants to know how many points did he earn for the coins he collected? All right, so since it tells us 60 points for every coin, that tells me that each one is worth 60 points, and I have 7, or he earned 7 coins. So I'm going to multiply 60 points per coin times 7 coins. So let's think about what we've learned. We're going to multiply 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. And we have 1 0. I'm going to add my 0 at the end. So Francisco earned 420 points for the coins he collected. Okay, let's look at the next part. Francisco also earned 200 points for every level he completed in the game. He completed 7 levels. How many points did he earn for the levels that he completed? Okay, let's circle our number clues. He got 200 points for every level. He completed 7 levels. It tells me that he earned 200 points for every level he completed. So that tells me each level is worth 200 points. He got 200 points for the first level, 200 points for the second level, 200 more points for the third level, 200 more points for the fourth level, another 200 points for the fifth level, another 200 points for the sixth level, and finally another 200 points for the seventh level. It says, how many points did he earn for the levels that he completed? So I'm going to multiply 200 times 7. All right, thinking about what we've been doing, 2 times 7 is 14. I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to add 2 zeros at the end. So my answer will be 1,400 points. So he earned 1,400 points for completing the 7 levels. And then the last question says, what was the total number of points that Francisco earned? Well, if he earned 420 for earning coins and another 1,400 for completing the levels, we're going to add 420 plus 1,400, and that equals 1,820 points. So here's my final answer. The total number of points that Francisco earned was 1,820. All right, so let's take a look at your problem set. It's going to be page 27 and 28 in your Learn book. Go ahead and pause the video and get pages 27 and 28 out of your Learn book. We're going to do a couple of these together. So it tells you to draw place value discs to represent the value of the following expressions. So we're starting out on number 1 with 2 times 3. I know 2 times 3 equals 6. I can show that on my place value chart by making two groups of 3 ones. If I count those, one group of 3 is 3, two groups of 3 makes 6. So let's fill in what they have in word form here. 2 times 3 ones is 6 ones. And over on the right-hand side, they just wrote the same problem vertically. We know 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, next we have 2 times 3. We're going to rewrite that in unit form. So 2 times 3 tens is, let's draw it on our place value chart. I have 2 groups of 3 tens. There's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. There's 3 tens, and 3 more tens makes 6 tens. 6 tens has a value of 60. 2 times 3 is 6, and we have a 0 to add at the end. Same thing here. 30 times 2 is 60. Okay, number 3, we're doing 2 times 300. 2 times 3 hundredths. I didn't give you very much room to write there. 2 times 3 hundredths. So I'm going to make 2 groups of 3 hundredths. There's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. And of course I have 6 hundredths. 2 times 3 is 6. I add my 2 zeros to the end. Once again, 3 times 2 is 6. Add the 2 zeros to the end. Okay. And then number 4, we'll go ahead and do it together. 2 times 3,000 equals, so we'll write that in unit form. 2 times 3,000 is what? Well, we can do that on our place value chart by making 2 groups of 3,000. There's a group of 3 and another group of 3. 2 times 3,000 is 6,000. Write it in our number sentence. 2 times 3,000. 2 times 3 is 6. Add the 3 zeros. 3 times 2 is 6. Add the 3 zeros. All right. On the back of that page, and do the first one with you. You're just finding the product. 20 times 7, 2 times 7 equals 14. And I have 1 0, so 20 times 7 equals 140. So you need to finish the rest of this page and complete your exit ticket. And then make sure you hit the turn in button on your assignment when you're done. Have a great day and an even better weekend.